T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
That is right, on the planet. I never know when this thing's going to mute me or I have to unmute myself, you guys, so you might get a little brief pause. But own it, own it, own it. We are here. We are live. It is time for some good old news here at Women's Wrestling Talk. Of course, I am alone today on this Good Monday. Normally, I am here with my tag team partner, of course, the most dominating tag team in Women's Wrestling Talk history. Sometimes you catch us with the Dynamite Dolls, like yesterday for Turnbuckle Glam. But I am here with all things new. Nickie Booshie, your senior writer and host here at Women's Wrestling Talk. And to be honest, I am extremely excited about the news this week. We have a lot going on. So let's just get right into it. Of course, last week, if you watched our Impact post-show, me and Santana, my tag team partner, talked about the amazing announcement that Gail Kim decided to make last week in Impact. We will be having our first ever Queen of the Mountain match. It will take place live, Nashville, Tennessee, Sunday, June 19th at the Nashville Fairgrounds in my neck of the woods. And I am I'm so excited about this. I had to hold this in because I was at the taping. But you guys, Deonna Purrazzo, Chelsea Green, Tasha Steelz, Jordan Grace, and of course, Mia Yim, who has returned now to Impact Wrestling as well. And before we get into all of that, of course, Tasha Steelz will be defending her championship at Queen of the Mountain. And I am very curious to know, who do you guys think is going to win? Is going to be the first Queen of the Mountain? I've actually been going back and watching some old matches. And so being that this is the first Queen of the Mountain match, and I'm going to actually be live there to see it, I am extremely excited. A few questions that I have, though. I don't know if this is going to stay the card. We all know with wrestling, subject card to change. So anything can happen. Anyone could be added. I know after the show, I was seeing spoilers that said that Savannah Evans and Taya Valkyrie were also added to the match, but we saw that as of now is not true. These are the 5 women who are contested for that match, and they're the only women as of now. Tasha Steelz will also be defending her championship against these 4 ladies. So we have a lot going on. And if you remember back at Hard to Kill, that was the first ever time we saw the Knockouts Ultimate X match that was won by Tasha Steelz. So will we see a repeat We really don't know. You guys know I love all the women that are involved in this match. However, I will be rooting for the virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. Of course, I'm wanting her to get that Knockouts championship back. Sorry, Tasha, if you're listening, but overall, I think this is going to be a very stellar match. And let's keep it with Impact for the next news that we have. It was released by Fightful that Mia Yim has signed a short-term contract. So the Mia Yim thing with her return is not something that's just a one-off. She's going to be staying around for some time now, and it's going to be very curious to see if this contract signing has anything to do with her possibly taking it all at Queen of the Mountain for Slammiversary. And of course, my tag team partner, Santana, she is currently running other promotions and on the clock herself, but has no problem stepping in for her tag team partner, of course, the Salt Shakers, the most dominating tag team in women's wrestling talk history. We really can't say that enough. But I'm very curious to know what's going to be next for Mia Yim. She's a former TNA Knockouts champion, we know. So from my understanding, I'm curious to know how short term is this really going to be? You know, how long is it going to take for Mia Yim to, and no pun intended, reach that mountain? And of course, anytime my partner's in here, you know, it's too sweet. I mean, and of course, we got the news coming to you. Don't forget, you know, every Monday with me here at noon for Central Time. And of course, the news on Thursday with my tag team partner and TK or whoever wants to come in and do the news. But with that being said, I mean, there's a lot of things going on in women's wrestling right now. And so with Mia Yim making it very clear that she is here at Impact Wrestling as a knockout to stay, may be very, very interesting for some and a little more heartening for others. But moving right along, it was reported by Female Locker Room that possibly there was a trademark that was sought after by Dakota Kai, who was recently released from WWE NXT, and the name that they gave us was King Kota. We don't know if anything is going to happen with that. I guess we have to see. And Santana wants to just make sure that you guys understand that she is excited to see Mia Yim in Impact. I would hope that she extends her contract, make it longer. We want to see Mia Yim, you know, in the knockouts. I'm very interested to see, you know, what happens and where she goes. With that being said, you know, Mia Yim was also in NXT. Dakota Kai being in NXT as well. Could we see Dakota Kai in Impact? Or could we see her in AEW? Now, we all know, you know, that things are going to transpire this week. Of course, it was reported by Women's Wrestling Talk. Chris, one of our writers, did an amazing article on this. But of course, Ruby Soho advances in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Now, we all know that Ruby has had a very different journey and different path in AEW as she did in WWE. She's been a singles competitor. They've been putting her in tag teams, but overall, a lot of her stands in AEW has been singles competition. With that being said, it's really, we don't know who Britt Baker will be facing. Some people are speculating that Kota could be the Joker against Britt. I would like to see that. There's a lot of different women that honestly could be the Joker. And of course, you guys, don't forget, Britt Baker will be going up against the Joker. Britt doesn't even know how to prepare for this match. How do you prepare for someone that you don't know? You think about technical ability, grappling. You think about just chemistry in the ring. Britt is going into this honestly as an underdog. And we've never seen Britt Baker in a position to not knowing how to go about. You know, Britt is good at playing mind games, but she's also a very technical wrestler at times. And so when you're of a certain stance and you don't know who it could be, honestly, like it could be Athena, you know, it could be Dakota Kai. It could easily be Mia Yim. It could be Taya Valkyrie, you know, since she wants to pop up everywhere, you know, it could be Deonna Purrazzo. We just don't know, but you will have to find out on Wednesday night, because as Ruby Soho advances, the tournament continues on Wednesday as Britt Baker, the DMD, will find out, just like the rest of us, who that Joker is. And before we get done with a little bit of AEW talk, don't forget, tonight it has been announced, Monday at 7 Central, 7 Eastern, 6 Central on YouTube, the ROH Women's Champion, Mercedes Martinez, will be defending her championship tonight against Trish Adora. And this match, from my understanding, because it was pre-taped, was a really good match. If you don't want to know who wins, please do not check the spoilers, okay? Because the spoilers, listen, they will have you like, I know for me, when I get the spoilers, I love wrestling as a whole, so I love to watch matches. So even if I get a spoiler, I'm in there. You know, I'm still gonna be watching the match. So make sure you tune in. AEW tonight on YouTube, of course. Dark, I think it's Elevation, but either way, make sure you guys are tuned in, because we do not want you to miss out on, you know, Mercedes Martinez, your undisputed ROH Women's World Champion, defending her championship in AEW. So that's big. Not only did she go up against Deonna Purrazzo in her debut, but now she's, you know, wrestling other women who have history with ROH and women's wrestling as a whole. But moving right along, for those that caught FWF Live 3 last night, y'all, Chelsea Green, she had a tough night. She lost to Deonna Purrazzo, and then she was hit in the face with a championship by her own husband, Matt Cardona, after he was sprayed in the face with mist. Now, if you check Matt Cardona's Instagram, you will see why, and this was the reason why, in their hotel room, Chelsea Green decided to sleep in the other bed. They slept separately last night. Now, when you have an Aries and a Taurus, that's a lot going on. So that's already just turmoil amongst themselves. You know how the Cordonas get down. But last night, Chelsea was having it bad at FW3, like FWF Live 3. There was a lot of people involved. I know Heath went away with a victory as well. A lot of people on that card. But yeah, Deonna did defeat Chelsea Green, and then Chelsea Green was hit in the face with a championship by her own husband. So here at Women's Wrestling Talk, we love Chelsea Green, so we're sending our condolences. She's a tough cookie, so I'm sure she'll be fine. You'll be fine, girl. Listen, you've went through tables. Multiple tables. You've almost been hit with a chair. You've been hit with a chair. You've been speared in a table. Chelsea has been, can we get hardcore Chelsea or hardcore Green? I don't know, because at this point, like, my girl is taking over. And then, of course, GCW, you know, being that hardcore, I don't know. Like, Chelsea Green is on a whole new level. So when I saw the video last night, I kind of felt bad, but I'm like, you know, she's a tough cookie, you know. But moving right along, you guys, to another knockout. This right here, you guys, I am so upset that I'm missing this show. But of course, NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, will be having a live pay-per-view basically all around Matt Cardona, who we just got through talking about, Always Ready. And it was announced that in singles competition, Taya Valkyrie will be making her NWA debut versus, and I hope I don't butcher her name, but Natalia Markova. That match is going to go crazy Saturday, June 11th, 2022. Knoxville Convention Center, and tickets, yes, are on sale right now at nwatix.com. Now, from my understanding, for anyone who's going to any NWA show, make sure you get your tickets through them. I went to an NWA show a couple months ago, and I was seeing a lot of fraudulent tickets being sold online. So again, if you plan to go see Taya Valkyrie make her debut and you're wanting to get tickets, the only place to get those tickets is nwatix.com. And of course, if you are in the Knoxville area, this is a match that you really don't want to miss. Natalia herself has made a very heavy name for herself in women's wrestling. She's been traveling all over the indies. She's really been, for the most part, honestly, she's been killing it. Winning. I believe she became the first ever HOG women's champion as well a couple months back too. Katrina had went to that. Our very own host and writer Katrina had went to that event, and so I honestly I think the way that Taya Valkyrie is booking, it's ridiculous because she's still in Impact. She's gonna make a return in MLW if she hasn't already, because they're getting ready, of course, to introduce. Rumor has it that they're in the works of introducing their women's, I think it's featherweight championship as well. We saw Holly Dead, in a match over the weekend as well, and so I honestly feel like the realm of what's going on with Taya Valkyrie is honestly just, it's utterly impressive. I think she's had one of the greatest, besides maybe like Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo recently, in my opinion, Taya Valkyrie has, how can I put it? She's just really been on a different level. She's been on a high. You're seeing her in every promotion, but not only that, I mean, she has a match coming up with Masha Slamovich as well, in Prestige. So Taya Valkyrie is moving along, and it's honestly, it's really good to see. I personally, like I said, I'm really upset that I'm not even going to get to see this match. But overall, I feel like the match is going to be stellar. And I think that whatever happens, no matter what, I think that if people aren't familiar with where Taya Valkyrie plans to go next, they will definitely be educated, as I would say, on Taya Valkyrie and her dominance in women's wrestling overall. But moving right along, you guys, to the left, you see Nicole Saver. She has announced her retirement. According to Fightful, she announced her retirement over the weekend. That is her with her partner, Swole. She is to the left. She is known for her work in MLW. Of course, she is known as the longest reigning Shimmer champion, and she's also done some work in ROH as well. So, disheartening, but sometimes, of course, you have to do what you have to do best for your career. From our understanding, she possibly suffered an injury as well. And I'm just getting the post here. She just, took to social media and said, "Tonight was so much fun. Thank you, Hood Slam." She thanks some other people for that night. And she says, absolutely no sadness. And then she posts a pic of her pup for everyone. And then she just closes by saying, "Thank you for making my wrestling journey amazing." And so shout out to Nicole for everything she's done for women's wrestling as well. And just overall, it can be very disheartening. But when someone says don't be sad, that just goes to show that even when things tend to end in wrestling, there's still a marquee of looking back and remembering all the amazing matches you had with different people, all the times that you shared, all the training. I believe she had a WWE tryout as well, and she talks about how that changed, the landscape of where she is now. So it's honestly, it's beautiful to see. I personally think that this, and I tell this to, when I talk to Deanna and when I talk to Trey, I'm always telling them, like, make sure you focus on your mental. Make sure you are first putting your health first, because of course this is wrestling, this is entertainment for a lot of people, but this is a sport. And when you have injuries and you have mental breaks and you have certain things going on, as tough as social media is, people have to realize that you have to give people a break and that respect. And so here at Women's Wrestling Talk, we want to thank Nicole for everything that she's given to Women's Wrestling Talk. And we send her all the love and graces on her next endeavors, whether she decides to come back to wrestling or no matter what it is. We will be here no matter what. And we just want to commend her for her amazing career. Moving right along, Mission Pro Wrestling had an amazing event called Don't Stop Me Now over the weekend. And man, like, a lot of great talent. Here's the full match card provided by Fightful for those that did not get to see it. It was a crazy, crazy night for the Renegade Twins because they were defeated by Bougie Reality. Maddie and Rasha Chanel, they were seen in a photo with Holly Dead as well. I didn't even know about this until I woke up. But yeah, like, the Renegade Twins have been killing it. And so for them to lose the MPW Tag Team Championships, no DQ, I'm guessing it was a no disqualification match. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still getting everything, all the information and everything. But yeah, you also had, Willow in a match, picking up a victory. And Willow, honestly, like, you guys, if you have not been paying attention to Willow, I don't know what you're doing, because this girl has been, honestly, like, everywhere. Honestly. And I'm checking Maddie's page now. So it looks like they were actually, and new. Looks like they won the championships. And when I'm looking at this match right now, you guys, they are putting on a banger. So if you have not watched this card for Mission Pro, please do, because you do not want to miss out on all the amazing talent that Mission Pro has to offer. But yeah, moving right along, let's jump into some WWE news. A lot of funny stories here. First, we talked about it briefly on Turnbuckle Glam, a possible return from Paige, formerly in PCB, your first ever Divas champion, your first ever NXT Women's Champion, former Divas champion, and she's been hinting on a return for God knows when now. A lot of people were speculating her return in January. She popped up at the Ziggy Dice show via Twitch. So honestly, it had me to think that she was going to be leaving WWE, and then she's still there. And I personally don't know what's going to happen with Paige, but listen, I want her to come back. Now, she's on social media talking about manager, please. It's also been reported from different outlets that it could be her time to, like, step in with Ronda. That's not really what I want, but I'm not gonna be too picky. I just, and I know my tag team partner who's watching, Santana, can agree with this too, because we've talked about it. Excuse me. We've wanted Paige back for a while now. And so whatever she does, whatever happens, I personally just feel like it doesn't matter. But like seeing, of course, we saw Ronda and Raquel, have their match. And then Ronda made some comments about basically saying that, you can't be this great champion if you don't have a great division. And I'm paraphrasing. And so, a lot of people commended the match between Raquel and Ronda. I was not impressed. I think Raquel's a great wrestler. I don't think Ronda is. I think she's okay. But I hope that if Paige comes back, let me say this. If Paige comes back and she's added to Ronda, I hope and pray that she adds something to Ronda. Okay. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a huge Charlotte Flair mark. Y'all know that. I'm not even upset that Ronda won the championship. I'm just more so, people love to like put the pedal on the metal when it comes to saying that Ronda does this and does that for the division. I want to see it. Her match with Raquel, that's a stepping stone. Paige coming back, if Paige decides to come back and help Ronda, I feel like that would actually make more sense. But who knows? And I want to know at home, would you guys rather see Paige just jump back into action? Or do you guys want to see Paige actually be a manager and go back into how she did with the Kabuki Warriors and how she was with Absolution when she stopped wrestling? Me personally, I want to see her in the ring. I want to see her do a good clean lockup with Charlotte when she gets back. There are rumors with Charlotte returning before the summer, but of course we like news. I'm more of a news kind of person. Rumors are rumors, you just never know. But it could anything could happen. WWE has been speculating a lot of different things lately. With Ronda, with Paige, and also we've had some very we've kind of talked about this since we did our whole Naomi campaign. Been talks, and we saw this on SK Wrestling. They posted it, but she sits down with Inside the Ropes. Naomi does, your current WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, along with Sasha Banks, the Boss, the Blueprint, the Standard. And she says basically definitely something I would look forward to. I would want it to be the right time, and done properly. And this is regarding her possibility of joining the Bloodline. Now, we've talked about this numerous of times, and this Naomi joining the Bloodline could actually be even more beneficial to Naomi and Sasha, because this could go so many different ways. So Naomi's been a consistent figure on SmackDown for over a year now, even probably longer than that. And so, I'm not just going to say just SmackDown, but just overall. From what I remember, she's been on SmackDown with the whole feud with Sonya. Now, I know a lot of people did not like that feud. They were very, and I'll go ahead and say it. In some stanzas, I know for me and some of the people that I watch with, there were a lot of racial issues that were blurring the lines when it came to Sonya and Naomi. People were making jokes online. Some people weren't making jokes. Some people were calling attention to what it looked like and how it was being perceived. Now, Naomi is out of that storyline. She's now a champion again. And it just looks like Sasha and Naomi are really taking the women's tag team division to a whole different level. Scenario one. Naomi joins the Bloodline, and they both together join the Bloodline. And then we see Team Bad actually reunite with Tamina, and they all join the Bloodline as the most cohesive and strongest women's faction that we've ever seen in women's wrestling pertaining to WWE. Scenario two, Naomi could actually make a heel turn, turning on her partner, losing the tag team championships, losing her friendship with Sasha, and moving on to becoming the champion and actually being the one at SummerSlam to defeat Ronda. Because let's just be honest. If you give Naomi a heel turn, let her join the bloodline. The next step is obviously becoming again the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. It just makes sense. Putting her in that faction with the bloodline, it just makes sense. There's no way that people could not see that on paper and be like, you know what? I think we need this. And I honestly, to see fans talk about it, her joining the bloodline would honestly be the best thing for the women's division, because what you're doing is you're building the women and showing that, you know what, the bloodline has stand. I don't know if I cut out, but if I did, it cut out for me. But yeah, that power of a woman, and we need to see that. I want to see her. I do. I want to see her be involved in the bloodline, because honestly, why can't we have, a dominating woman in the faction, and for those that are watching, please let me know if I cut out or anything. I'm checking the stream as of now. But yeah, like, I honestly, Naomi in the bloodline would just be appropriate. And that's just how I feel. I feel like I wouldn't be mad if the whole Team Bad joined, but I think that if Naomi did this super heel turn and then became champion, and this was what, like, we could see, like, Sasha Banks versus Naomi at Hollywood, that would be crazy. And I think that the way that we're seeing the representation of Black women in Naomi and Sasha Banks is something that we've been missing for a while, specifically in WWE. Naomi and Sasha taking on and, like, really taking on the women's division. I know I had my issues with it, but now looking back at everything, how everything has transpired, this could be it. Naomi joining the bloodline could honestly be it. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. Tweet us. Comment on our Instagram. Follow us on here on Twitch, because, of course, we are live here on Twitch. So I want to know what you guys think, honestly, because, like, anything is possible. And a good old Naomi heel turn, child, I don't think these people would know what the hell. I don't think they know what the hell going on, child. But sticking it to WWE, this is a funny story that I was reading. So according to Out of Character, Nikita Lyon sits down with Ryan Satin from Out of Character, and basically talks about the name of her finisher, the one where she does the split. Now, she says in the interview that she commends Beth Phoenix on the Grand Slam, and she hints that whatever move it is whatever the name that she gave WWE, that they liked it. Not only did they like it, but it rhymes with Grand Slam. Okay. And a lot of people, specifically, I want to say, yes, specifically Public Enemies podcast. If you do not follow them, shout out to them, because they are hilarious. Okay. They have if you are looking for, you know how we watch wrestling and sometimes it gets stagnant and you're looking for, like, memes and jokes and stuff like that, go follow their page, because let me tell you something. When Fightful dropped the news and covered it, Public Enemy podcast goes, Yam Slam is crazy. And the internet went crazy. Even our own Stephanie, because if you watch the NXT, and I think I'm going to be real honest, we got a lot of people watching Women's Wrestling Talk. You can tell, because Stephanie goes on to say, why do I low-key feel like this is my fault? I literally call her Miss Ma'am with the yams on the show, and she sees and retweets my clip. And that's from our Stephanie Hardy. And so I'm gonna try to get this tweet up so you guys can see, because baby, let's listen. This is funny. Like, this is funny as hell. And if we out here making names and stuff, that is hilarious. Because let me tell you something. When I saw that it rhymed with Grand Slam, I honestly was like, didn't even have any words, because I'm like, I know Yam Slam can't be the one. But from the interview, she also says that there was a little pushback because she didn't even want to say it herself during the interview. And so, I mean, listen, we could easily have it, but child, listen, I don't know. This is supposed to be for the kids, but NXT 2.0 is like a soap opera a little bit to me. And here's the full tweet for you guys to see. Might have to zoom in a little bit, but yeah, Stephanie commented, and when I say, like, I am dying laughing at this. This is the funniest shit I've seen. Like, honestly, and shout out to Stephanie. Because, and I gotta let Stephanie know I used her tweet, because this is hilarious. Like, Yam Slam, like, I want to know what y'all think. I want to know, because, like, Yam Slam, like, we're gonna give a brief pause to Yam Slam, because I tell you what, if they come out and say that it's Yam Slam, y'all, I'm gonna laugh so hard. Like, I'm gonna be dying, because Yam Slam. And I have no words, honestly. I really have no words. But moving right along before we get into our last piece. So Terminus has been doing different shows. I actually got to go to one of them named Vendetta. They're doing a lot of the Def Jam kind of themed shows. And so they just recently also announced their new show, Battle for ATL. Battle Slam will be taking place at the Oasis Event Center in Atlanta, Georgia, greater area. So make sure you check that out. They've been doing some really stellar shows. We have footage from the last show. Ashley D'Ambrose, I hope I'm saying that right, versus Shaza. And then we also had the Fatal 4-Way elimination match between Janaea, Robin Renegade, Angelica Risk, and Queen Amita. And so now they announced, they're beginning to announce their talent. I know they recently announced someone today too, but the first talent that they announced, you guys, and I'm super excited because I'm actually going to this show, none other than your Impact Knockouts World Champion. Hello, Tasha Steelz will be in a building for Battle Slam Fight for ATL, baby. The boy equal badass in the building, giving you a little flavor to Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm nervous. And I'm nervous for whoever going to be facing her, because let's just be honest. Tasha Steelz, and y'all know, I've been on Tasha Steelz for about a year now. And I'm going to be honest. When you talk about top of the top when it comes to like branding and reinventing herself and like going from being like the most dominating tag team in Knockouts history to being one of the most dominating Knockouts champions in a solo career, like everything Tasha has done since Hard to Kill has really put her in a high volume market. And when I say that, she's getting booked. She's being announced as the first booking. That says a lot. And most of these promotions, well, not most of these promotions, but Terminus has a high number of Black talent, if not all at times. So having this promotion, having them feature Tasha Steelz in this manner, being the first one to be announced for Battle Slam is absolutely amazing. There will be hip hop performances as well at this event. I honestly, last time Vendetta brought us Pastor Troy was in the building doing big things. Amazing performance, you guys. Like, honestly, like, I am super happy about Tasha Steelz. And then another woman who was announced, and I hope I'm not butchering her name, but please correct me if I am. Reka Tehaka will also be at Battle Slam Fight for ATL. She will also be featured, if she hasn't already, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Santana is still here, but I believe we're featuring her also for Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So be sure to check out that coverage that we do on her as well. I'm not that familiar with her. This was actually my first time hearing the name. And so so the match itself has not been, booked. So we actually don't know if she will be facing Tasha Steelz and if Tasha Steelz will be putting that championship on the line literally a week from Slammiversary. So Tasha is out. Like, Tasha's really killing it. Like, and I just have to commend her because, you know, sometimes people overlook some of the greatest talents, especially in women's wrestling, especially when you are a wrestler of color. And so I just want to commend this. Yes, she will be featured this month. Editor-in-Chief in the building letting us know she will be featured for Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. She's been wrestling for quite some time. I believe she trained at the Nightmare Factory. Yeah, she actually trained at the Nightmare Factory. Nightmare. I keep saying mirror. I'm trying to just see. She's had some crazy matches. There's an Atlanta match with her and Heather Monroe. She also actually had a match with Jay Cargill. So make sure you check that out. But these women are here and they are not playing. And I just want to shout out to Baron and all the lovely team at Battle Slam. They gave us a follow on Women's Wrestling Talk page. We will be covering that event live, full effect. June is going to be a real crazy month for y'all because that weekend we have Battle Slam for ATL. The following weekend we will be having live coverage from Slammiversary, and then going into July we have other things going on as well. So make sure you guys are here. But again, shout out to both of these women for being announced. And then, of course, any other announcements from Battle Slam, we will feature on the news. If it's breaking news, you might get it on a post show. But yeah, Tasha Steelz and Reka will be at Battle Slam, you guys. Before we get out of here, I want to just thank everyone for tuning in. Doing this, it's so crazy when I'm by myself. I'm so used to having my tag team partner here with me, but she's in the comments. So I want to thank Santana and everyone who joined us today. Replays will be on. Of course, it's live first on Twitch, and then you'll get it later on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure you are following the Twitch, because if you're not, I don't really know what you're doing. Because that's, you know what? Follow and hit that bell. I don't know where your bell is, but hit the bell, get your notifications on, because of course, you know, we giving shows back to back to back. And so before we get out of here, you guys, Turnbuckle Glam was yesterday. For some reason, the videos uploaded like part 1 and part 2. So make sure you guys are watching both of those videos as well, because we don't want you to miss all of the lovely looks that we have from last week, because the Salt Shakers, of course, and the Dynamite Dolls, you know, we always like to shake it up, and it got a little shady yesterday, as usual. So make sure you check out the shade, and make sure you check out the looks. Make sure you check out the glam. That is Turnbuckle Glam every Sunday, you guys, and it's posted now. So make sure you check it out on Twitch. Again, Mondays at noon, I will be here for the news, all the news over the weekend. If there's things I missed, make sure you guys let me know, so that way it can get covered in some way. Even if it's not here, we will post it to the social media. Also, going back a little bit, if you have any looks that you want to contribute to Turnbuckle Glam, make sure you send those to our Instagram page or Twitter at WW Talk Pod, or you can send them to me here at Nickie Booshie on Twitter or Instagram. But yes, the news here with me, Nickie Booshie, every Monday. Of course, we have our post show tonight for Monday Night Raw with the most dominating tag team in women's wrestling talk history, the Salt Shakers. If you don't know, now you know. And then on Tuesdays, of course, we don't have shows, but we recommend that you go back and watch all of the lovely shows that you haven't been able to watch, maybe because you're busy like us, because schedules get crazy, right? We're going into the summer. We're trying to find a way to be outside, so make sure that when you're outside having fun, even at the club, you're watching Women's Wrestling Talk, because, baby, let me tell you something. I will be at the after hour, and I will have my phone propped up and be watching. Okay, so it's possible. I know your battery might drain, but get you a portable charger so you can be on the go. Again, on Wednesdays, AEW Dynamite, the Dynamite Dolls will be here. Mika and Al breaking down all of the things that happen on Dynamite. This Wednesday, you're going to find out who the Joker is, so they'll be going over all that, and not just the women's Joker, the men's Joker too, which is wild. It's just, I can't even hold it in. Thursday is when you are jammed packed. First and foremost, we have a very new show with the lovely and the beautiful Faye Jackson, and I am so excited about this. Creek Squad After Dark, baby. It ain't nothing off limits, baby. It ain't, baby. They talking about whatever the hell they want to talk about. So if you got sensitive ears, don't come, but still come. Just put in some earplugs and put on the captions, because they finna get into some things. Also, before that, check out the news on Thursday with Santana and TK, or whoever decides to jump in for that on Thursday, of course, as Santana loves to say. And then, of course, we have NXT and NXT UK breakdown and post show on Thursdays now with Katrina and Stephanie. And then, of course, the Salt Shakers are back for the last show of the night on Thursday, that Impact Wrestling post show. Hey, yo, Sean Ross, what's good? I seen the tweet yesterday and I got a little excited. I know a lot of people, have been, they're thinking about doing a post show too. Here at Women's Wrestling Talk, we love the competition. It's all friendly. Sending all the love to Sean Ross as well for showing us love. But they might have a possible post show too. I don't know. You might see the Salt Shakers make a little guest appearance. Who knows? But of course, our Impact Wrestling post show is every Thursday night, 11:30 p.m. Central Time. We like to do things a little late, so make sure everyone from Impact Plus to the insiders on YouTube to the streamers get to see everything, because I know for some people, Impact doesn't even end until like 10:30, 11:30 for certain places. So we try to do that. And then, of course, Friday, AEW Rampage and SmackDown will both be broken down into the post show with Stephanie and Santana. And then we will be having another show on Saturday that breaks down all of the indies. So you got NWA, MLW, everything that isn't AEW, WWE, and Impact will be discussed on that show. So please, if you have matches, I know Bobby does a really great job at sending me all of the matches. I mean, literally, like, Bobby sent me so much stuff. So I'm going to be sending it over to the team so that way they can have it too. But yeah, that's the full lineup, you guys. And honestly, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. The love and support that y'all have shown us over these past couple months and year has just been crazy. We have so many amazing interviews out. They just did an interview with Thunder Rosa. We have an interview with Faye Jackson. We have an interview with Anna Jay. We have an interview with Deonna Purrazzo. A lot of good things going on right now, you guys. And I just want to, again, thank you guys for joining us. You know, we are here for you. And we appreciate you being here for us. I know some people are probably watching this at work with the volume down, so we appreciate it. But yeah, of course, I am Nickie Booshie. You guys can follow me on social media at Nickie Booshie. Of course, I am one half of the most dominating, the original, the undisputed, the reigning, defending, the most dominating tag team in women's wrestling talk history, the Salt Shakers. And of course, you guys, this is Women's Wrestling Talk, live on Twitch, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. You heard?
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.